Yo! BCHQ, discussion time, episode 64. Response to Blunted Alien. And the topic is consequences of one mistake ruining your life. So, how much should one incident ruin your life in your view? Some people's lives really go down the drain because of one incident. How fair is that? It probably largely rests on the type of incident, so here are some examples. Having an affair, one night rather than ongoing. Saying racist things, e.g. Michael Richards during his stand-up routine was racist towards a heckler. I think he was then ostracised by film and TV and fell into depression, although Jerry Seinfeld stood by his side. Committing fraud, some people really feel guilty about their actions and kill themselves. Going into reality TV and being seen as backstabby and then find it harder to get a job because of that, even though it was the reality TV series that wanted you to play the villain. Okay, so in terms of having an affair, I think you're your own worst enemy. Like, if you've got common sense, you got to be prepared to fuck your situation up that you've known for years. I mean, it could be months, weeks, but in a lot of cases it's probably years where you've been with someone and you've had an affair. Like, if you've got kids as well, and like, you've got to think of all these variables before you think with your dick, because you're going to lose out on a lot of shit just to have a bit of thrill and excitement in your life. And who knows that person you're having an affair with, if that's going to last either. So you got to be very certain in your decisions that the person you're having an affair with, that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, because you've already got a life with your partner. So I think it's a very dangerous game to play, and personally I just don't understand people that cheat, and I've never done it myself, and I never will, because I'm not that type of person. And I think people that are like that, like, they're scum to me. So that's how I look at it. So I in terms of an affair, I do think that you've made your own bed, so you've got to lie in it. Saying racist things, the Michael Richards stand-up. I actually checked that out because I'd never heard that before or knew who he was. It was quite shocking, but like, nowadays, like, it would probably blow up even more. But what you got to remember, like, I'm not saying that this is necessarily right or it should be like that, but comedians get away with a lot of shit, because, like, I don't know if you know Ricky Gervais, but he's an English comedian, and like, he pushes the boundaries a lot, and he spoke about it in interviews and stuff before, that people just need to lighten up, and like, it's part of the comedy, the way of a comedian, like stand up, and you got to be able to laugh at yourself and others, sort of thing. And I do think that he has a point, because I think the world we live in now is just too PC, and everyone's just like fucking a fascist and proper, like, you can't say that, I'm going to report you, and oh, you'll get sacked for that, I'll make sure you do, and things like that. And I hate that, because it's taken away our freedom of speech that we're meant to have even more these days. So I do think that it's a shame, because it's just getting worse and worse, and this so-called freedom of speech we've got is just kind of dissolving away day by day nowadays, and it's bullshit. So the Michael Richards thing, I think it was a bit harsh, to be honest, and yeah, people might call me a racist or whatever, go ahead, but I think that it was way overboard, that how he got treated before it. He even apologised, which he necessarily didn't have to do, because there'd be other comedians that do that sort of shit, and yeah, like, it fucked his career up. So I think that was a bit blown out of the water. So as far as that goes, I feel a bit sorry for him. Um, Committing fraud, obviously, this is an interesting one because I think a lot of companies and retailers, things like that, do commit fraud a lot, but they get away with it because of how they word things and how things get recorded, and they're just very sneaky. Like, they're very backstabbing, and how they treat their employers, for example. I just think it goes on a lot more than people realise, fraud, and people get away with it because they know certain business elements to get around the system, without getting pulled up on it too much. Especially if you've like built a history and a CV of a number of years of good work, and like people feel they can trust you. I do feel that people like that and companies like that have more leeway to get away with things. So I think fraud goes on a lot more than people realise from big companies and important people, but because they've already got a name, people don't pull them up or question them on it. Going into reality TV, being a backstabber, finding it hard to get a job. Again, I feel this is kind of like the affair thing. Like, if you watch like Big Brother or I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, stuff like that, you gotta be an adult. Like, you've gotta take responsibility for your own actions, and it's as simple as that. Like, no one can hold your hand for the rest of your life. If you're a celebrity, you're already out there. So don't do any bullshit to gain even more exposure for a negative situation or something that you've done while you're in a TV series, or because it's going to paint you in a bad light. And a lot of the time, these people get put in these shows because they've had drug problems, or their careers have already gone down south, and they're coming back into this to get a bit of money and try and get back in the pecking order of fame. And then if they get into arguments constantly and things like that on the shows that they go on, it's just going to lead to more shit. So I think that it's just common sense, but a lot of these celebrities are frighteningly thick, and they don't know what sort of, how lucky they have been to have the life that they have had before they fucked up, and then they think they should have a second chance, when there's ordinary people out there that are struggling every day just to eat, and they're complaining about their Gucci bag getting ripped and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's pathetic. So yeah, I feel like that's a bit tedious and childish for the reality TV things. So basically, you said one thing that a person did coming back to haunt them. Anything you can think of? Some things probably deserve to haunt people more than other things. So basically, what things should haunt a person more than other things? The things you've listed, to me, they're not like really serious things. Like, obviously fraud can be, but as I said, I think that goes on daily. People just get mugged off without even realising it a lot of the time. Things like rape, killing people, like, these are the things that you deserve to be haunted for and locked up for. Depends on different cases. Like, if it's by accident, like a car crash, and you kill someone which wasn't on purpose, like, in cases like that, then maybe you shouldn't get life, or be sort of ostracised and stuff. But it all depends on individual cases. But rapists, murderers, and things like that, you deserve to get haunted for, in my opinion. Hope I've covered everything. Hope you've enjoyed it. Great question again, Blunted. Thank you for supporting all the time. And yeah, they don't want to fuck with the real ones.